Sacar means this is a fun one, to stick the tongue out. I mean, sometimes kids do this. Sometimes you gotta do it when you are, if you have a doctor's appointment and the doctor has to look at your tongue, you need to stick the tongue out. So probably you will hear this, sacar. Okay? Sacar. Oops. Sacar. For example, el niño me sacó la lengua. El niño me sacó la lengua. This means the boy stuck his tongue out at me. It happens, right? It happens, I guess. Yeah, it happens. Kids are like that. They're rascals sometimes. El niño, the boy. Okay? Me, we see again this reflexive pronoun. Me, which means me. Sacó, stuck out in this situation. La, you can say su lengua, which is more accurate, right? His tongue. But you can just, it's more commonly said la. So but it doesn't make sense. In English, I think his works better. Okay. But it's obvious that you're talking about the kid's tongue, right? Okay. Lengua. Lengua means tongue. La lengua, the tongue. At me, in this situation, we have at me, right? So, that's how it works. So I guess it's stuck out at in this situation when you're saying sacó. Me sacó. Okay? So this is quite interesting that sacar can mean that as well. It's just a simple, silly meaning, but it happens. And if you want to say this in Spanish, you can say it. Or if someone says this to you, you will understand what the person means. So it's important to know the meaning of sacar, that meaning of sacar, especially if you go to see a doctor. If a doctor says something like this to you, let me see if a doctor says to you, saca la lengua, or saque, that's a more formal way to ask for this. Saque. If the doctor says to you, saque la lengua, okay? Saque la lengua, por favor. Let's just add, probably the doctor can say por favor or not. But if you, sometimes it happens, right? They're polite doctors. Por favor. Saque la lengua, por favor. This means stick your tongue out, please. Okay? Saque is a command, and it means, stick out in this situation. La lengua, the tongue. Okay? So we're talking about tongue. So might as well add here sacar la lengua. It's the whole term. Sacar la lengua. To stick the tongue out. I forgot to add tongue in Spanish. Sorry about that. That was my bad. Saque la lengua, por favor. Stick your tongue out, please. This is a common thing if you go to see a doctor. It happens. So now you know, if you are in that situation, you can understand what the doctor means. And it makes sense. And it makes sense. It will make sense to you. Stick out, Again, la lengua, la lengua. The doctor is not going to say tu lengua. Could be a possibility, but usually they will say la lengua, your tongue in this situation. Tu lengua is a more literal translation. Saque su in this situation because it's formal, not tu. Saque su lengua, por favor. Okay? Or just saque la lengua, por favor. Formal. Saque is formal. La lengua, your tongue. Por favor, please. Por favor, please. Okay? If it's informal, then if you want to make this informal, you need to say saca la lengua, por favor. Saca la lengua, por favor. Stick your tongue out, please. Okay, but let's make it formal. It's more likely that they will say sake. They will say sake. It's like the drink, sake. Sake. It sounds it's the same pronunciation. Sake and the Japanese alcoholic liquor, I think so. Yeah, it's a liquor. I mean, alcoholic liquor. It's redundant. Sake, the Japanese liquor. It's delicious, by the way. But anyway, sake is the same pronunciation. Sake, sake. Saque la lengua, por favor. Stick your tongue out, please. Anyway, that was interesting for sure. You can use the verb sacar and add la lengua, and that means to stick the tongue out.